For BamaCentral.com, my name is Clay Miller, and this is The Extra Point. Today, I'm joined by Tony Tsoukalis. And Tony, the NFL draft is now underway. The first round was last night. Alabama saw two players, Evan Neal and Jamison Williams, taken from the Crimson Tide. Maybe not, only two this year, maybe not as many as we've seen in the last couple of years, but they still have a ton of players in the draft. Tonight's the second and third rounds. Who are some players we should be watching out for that could be selected tonight?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting for Alabama because they've got a lot of the mid-tier talent in this year's draft. I think you start looking at the second round. I think John Metchie is a name that's going to come off the board. There's a lot of receivers in this class, but he's a really good one. The Patriots didn't address receiver in the first round. Did they grab that to kind of match with Mac Jones in New England? That would be interesting. There's a lot of teams actually that are interested in John Metchie. I think Christian Harris is another linebacker that could really, make sense for a lot of teams. He ended his season really well. So, teams are kind of high on him. He's entering the draft with a lot of momentum. And then Phidarian Mathis, man, he was one of the most underrated players on last year's defense. And I think he could even sneak into the second round as well. So those are your three second rounders, I would say, to really watch, kind of tonight in the early parts of tonight.
Are there any prospects that Alabama has you think that either might be slipping or that maybe could sneak up into this day or in the later rounds that maybe we haven't been talking about?
Yeah, as far as sneaking up, I'm not sure. I think Brian Robinson is the guy that could go today. I think he could also go in the fourth round. Maybe he sneaks into the third round. Jalen Armour-Davis is definitely a player that can if somebody gets high on him, he ran a really good time, 4.39 in the 40. He was Alabama's best cornerback last year, so he's a guy that I would keep an eye on. And then I don't really know what to make of Christopher Allen. I've seen him go as low as sixth round, but then I've seen him sneak up into the third round in some mock drafts. He's a guy with a lot of potential, but a lot of injury risks. I kind of think he's more of a day three guy, but who knows? Maybe somebody takes a chance on him as well. So there's a few names right there. Josh Jobe might kind of sneak into the later parts of tonight as well. So it'll just be really interesting to see as things go on.
Yeah, as we mentioned at the top, maybe not as many top end guys in the draft this year for Alabama, but still a ton of players that are going to get drafted. And I'm sure you and the rest of our writers have been doing a great job covering that. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me today, Tony. Appreciate your time. Once again, for BamaCentral.com, my name is Clay Miller, and this has been The Extra Point.